I call Allah Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Kakwadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of great male son of Ruel. I am not a member, however I've entered into their labors. Peace and mercy to the sincere brothers and sisters doing this wherever you are, whatever your lot may be. Another quick one during the week where we cover one or a couple of TikToks or news articles or whatever is shared on the internet in the way of prophetic times, judgment, or just a mindset that we want to highlight. And you want to check yourself and make sure you're not in the mindset that is displayed on whatever we happen to see at that point in time, at that given day. All right, making sure we are on our P's and Q's, our head is on a swivel, right? Being circumspect and redeeming the times. So I'm going to let this play. I'm going to try at least. I don't have any prepared, but 3 scriptures came to my mind off the dribble. So I'm going to pull those up when the timing is right. So, and another thing, before we even press play on this, it's always funny. You get to hear some of these people talking, like this lady here. Nothing against her. I don't know who this is, but they will start saying things, and I'm like, okay, I thought you've been listening. You've been listening a little bit, and then the next thing you know, out of the blue, they always say something off the wall, like some sort of Christian doctrine shit, some weird too deep off the way too deep, way too far in the deep end is what I'm trying to say. And then you be like, yep, that's another dumbass Christian. All right, they have a zeal, but not according to knowledge, as the scriptures say. All right, and they say our people, the Lord says my people are foolish. It's Jeremiah. Yeah, that's what I got pulled up right there. So we're going to go here. Jeremiah 4:22. I said I was going to let it play, but it's better to open up with a scripture. Straight to the point here. For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. And not to say that she, blatantly at least. But it's just a generalization, especially when it comes to our people. They will fight against the scriptures day and night, tooth and nail, because everybody's a believer until the scriptures come out. And they will fight against that to further this way, or to hold on to some weird, vain, what would be classified, I guess, as a sea theory, or mythology, some sort of mythological thing, that whatever doctrine that they add on top of, they take a little bit of truth and then they throw that weird shit in there. But anyway, let's go.
For those of you who haven't heard, there is a large construction in Abilene, Texas, and it's called Stargate. It's basically a huge AI database.
So I believe what she means is a data center, okay? And a data center is basically one big-ass building that uses a lot of energy, right? But I thought we were, we didn't want the a big carbon footprint and all that, right? I thought we were working on saving the environment. Anyway, it uses a lot of electricity, uses a lot of resources, because there's a bunch of huge high-powered servers in these data centers, and they are meant to run continuously, day in, day out, all the time. Okay, and some of these high power, and not only servers, like they're also things to to back up information, right? Because you're hosting data, right? You are hosting terabytes, maybe even petabytes, right, of data, and that data can't be lost. So they need not only a server, they'll have a backup server and a backup for that backup, and then they can put a bunch of hard drives in one, I don't even want to get into the technical side of it. It's a lot, but basically everybody's data will be there. So I think she means, or especially on. Goodness gracious, I can't even get my words out. Especially, when the MOTB is implemented and all of your information will report back to these different data centers. I'm guessing. So this is the start of one, and that is in Abilene, Texas, and I'm sure they're going to be around everywhere, right? And each of those, it'll be one big, I guess, domain, and then it'll just have different sites, right? So all of it is the same software used to run, and everything has reciprocity with whatever country. Who knows how this thing will play out? All we know is he calls us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in his right hand or in his forehead, right? Straight to the point, because I read 16, right, and that no man might buy or sell save he that hath the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I'm gonna do my best to just try to let her get through this.
That, in my opinion, they're not really saying exactly what it's for, but I believe it is for our new financial system. And I highly doubt it's going to be the only one. I think this is one of many to come. But
which, that's correct. You can't just have one big data center. There has to be, like I said, backups to backups, right? And then they'll separate it regionally. Okay, that's the logical thing to do when it comes to the mass amounts of data that they are trying to process financially, medically, all of that. Okay, when it comes to this fourth industrial revolution.
This open AI, basically, it's going to be all AI. It's not going to be powered by men. We may manage some things, but this is going to be self-running. And I can't even act like I'm not worried about that. I believe this is going to be a huge part in the beast system that comes. Well, the beast system, in my opinion, is already here.
That was one thing, but she goes even further off into a deep end in just a little bit, right? So what is the beast system? Now, I'm going to link the playlist that I've said before in my previous video. I'm going to link that Learn to Study playlist, and you can search through that and just type in like beast system, right? Okay, so the system is everything that you see, the philosophy, the voting, the way business is handled, right? On a microcosmic and a macrocosmic level. Everything that you see, this westernized way. Why? Because the earth was given into the hands of the wicked, right? And he's allowed to just do what he will until that said judgment be fulfilled, right? Until it's time. And we're coming up on that time. That's a scripture that I want to get. I just can't remember the wording of it. It is bound by his word. The Lord groaneth, but he's bound by his word. Something like that. I can't think of it. Let me see. The Lord groaneth. No. It pains. Basically, in so many words, it pains the Lord to see his creation, go through the things that they are going through, but he's bound by his word, okay? As he prophesied, he gave Daniel the vision, right? Did he not? About the four beasts out of the sea, and then it tells you in Daniel 7 after all is said and done that these four beasts are four nations. right? Verse 4, Daniel 7 and verse 4. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. I beheld the wings. Their wings therefore were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth. And I'm just going to read and get the first, second, and third, and fourth beast, right? Again, look up, do the work yourself. Type in GMS Daniel 7, and if you ain't got notes on it, take notes on it. If you don't remember, go back and look at your notes. We gotta keep it sharp at all time. All right, to the best of our ability, of course. And behold, another beast, second, like to a bear, and raised itself up on one side. And then after this, I beheld lo another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. That leopard. All right, we talk about the Greeks now. We're going from Assyrian, Babylonian to Persian, and now we're on the Greeks. Okay, and after this, he beheld a 4th beast. All right, dreadful and terrible. That is the Roman Empire. Okay, and then when you go to Revelation, it tells you there was a beast whose deadly wound was healed. Okay, and that is continued. That beast, that 4th beast that we're reading here, is the Roman Empire. And he had a deadly wound, right? That was Jake taking over that holy Roman Empire, right? After 300, circa 300 AD or CE, Common Era. And gosh, what am I trying to say? Oh, and it coming back up in the representation of Babylon the Great. Okay, so you look at old Rome, you look at a map of Rome, and it very, very closely resembles the map of NATO and the EU. Okay, that is your beast system. And everything that they do, how they conduct business, okay, the entire system is even all the way down to your religion, or what was your religion, be it Christianity or Islam or whatever it is. Okay, that is a part of the system. And then you have the whore that rides on the back of the beast. We might as well get it. I just forget where it's at. It's in John. John prophesied. Beast, KJV. Revelation 17. Revelation 17. All right. I'm going to go to verse 4. And there was a woman and the woman who was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And that is this place, 2AT, 144%. All manner of wickedness, all manner of worship to lowercase g gods, whatever you want to do. Do what thou wilt here, right? You are free to do whatever you want right here in Babylon the Great. Worship whomever, worship whatever. All right. Okay, so yeah, you had the woman. Did I read it? I started at 4. Let's see. Let me read 3. All right, just to hit a little bit more to the point. So he carried me away in the spirit and in the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns, right? And that's that NATO and EU. But the influence was out of Babylon, all right? And that is the whore that furthers the system, all right? And she rides on the beast, which is NATO and the EU. It is not only financial, okay? It is spiritual, and it is military or martially, I guess you should say. All right, that was a lot. Let's let her finish, or I'm going to make an attempt to let her finish, because this wasn't supposed to be that long.
We've been in it, but a rollout of sorts with this database. Now they're investing like $500 billion into it, and I don't believe it's only going to be for financial purposes. I think this is going to be used to track, of course, our financial system, information on each individual.
Information is the new gold. All right, I'll just say that. I do not mean information on you, the people, on us, who they deem as, I don't know what they deem us as, worms, cattle, cattle.
And control, surveillance. Now, if you know anything about AI is self-growing. It's self-managing. It learns on its own. Humans aren't really like managing it. It just obtains information and grows and grows.
And that's incorrect. AI does obtain information and grow, all right, and it pieces together algorithms. However, there will have to be some sort of admin on whatever these programs are to make sure that AI doesn't learn too much and start to tell the truth. Right? That's why when you try to look something up in Grok and you piece it with the Bible, he kind of plays dumb and they circumvent the thing, whatever subject or question that you're trying to ask, right? So there will always be somebody there to monitor it. It has to. Otherwise, if it continues to learn, it'll his tongue will fall upon his maker, basically, right? Which there are instances, it has been done, it has happened, but they made it a point to swiftly remove those videos and that evidence from the internet,
and become smarter and smarter. It has logic, and they're saying that eventually it will have emotion, which I think is already here. Now, if you're like me, you already know that this is fallen angel technology.
And there it is, the weirdo horse shit. Now, there were technological advancements being made, back in those days. What the layman would consider biblical time, right? Because we're still in biblical times. Prophecies have yet to happen that are written. Anyway. Yes, there was technology. There were certain levels of technology. They had everything that we have now. It just didn't look like it looks now. In fact, I say, and this is me speaking as a man, is that we did not evolve, or we did not we did not grow. I think we shrunk. And when I say we, I mean the entire globe. I think we were more advanced then, especially because the Lord ruleth in the kingdom of men, and he setteth upon it who he will, roughly paraphrase, right? And he just happened to set the basis of men, and that is why we've gone backwards, while simultaneously it looks like we've gone forward. But in my heart of hearts, I believe that there was huge advancements that have been hidden, and not only were the ancient technology of that day, not only was it comparable to what we have now, but it did not hurt the earth. These other nations were able to rule the earth and rule the known earth at that time, wherever they were, and be in harmony. It was only up until Esau, Edom got in, to where everything that they make, even if it's supposed to quote unquote help, they took 10 steps backward when it came to the environment or to the people, because they are as death.
Always had fallen angel technology. It's never went away. It just took certain people to implement it into our human world. Because if you really pay attention and you look at some of the technology that we have, how You can grow human beings without a womb.
Because the man wants his blessing. He's trying to perfect and attain the blessing that he sold to his brother Jacob. So he's trying to obtain that on the left-hand side. So they want to be like God. They want to be like the Most High. Hence the reason for the mass surveillance and the advancement in, I guess, child rearing, if that's what you want to call it, or child making. Everything's lab grown and ass backwards. They are trying to perfect their blessing on this side. But we are blessed to see that they are circling the drain, struggling to keep it all together. But there's still time for this devil gonna come down with great wrath. He finna show you who he is in his truest form, in his sincerest form. This devil's finna show us who he is. So we ought to, again, be circumspect, as it says in the book of Ephesians, redeeming the times, repenting, fasting. If you get to fasting, and pray without ceasing. The scriptures tell you to do so. Build up that spirit, man. Read and just read until your eyes bleed. I don't know what to tell you, but we've been given an assignment, right? And we need to, and not only an assignment, but we've been given a gift, the gift of understanding, to see what's happening in real time. So we ought to nurture it, grow it, love it, appreciate it. All right. Well, the Lord can remove it from you at any time. Us, any one of us. So I've gone on long enough. I don't really need to let her finish. We're good here. So I pray that you were edified, and on to the next one. Shalom.